Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. As you guys can see at the top left corner, we are once again back in Legend League, which means we want to take care of a couple of strategies and want to highlight those on the channel. The first thing which we'll take a look at is going to be Elektrodragon, and this is kind of the army which is Young Han using as well, who is insanely good at this, and he's like at the top leaderboards as well. And well, I thought like, okay, let's like try to copy that army and try it out a little bit on my own. So huge shout out to him, and we will try that in today's video a little bit more. How to use that army against like common Legend League bases, against ring base, and all this good thing, those good things, and that's kind of the goal. Obviously, there are a couple of things which you can like swap out and everything, and it's like personal preference. But one thing which I want to highlight on this one, because I'm getting super many questions on that. Yes, guys, you can use this exact army as well on Town Hall 12 and Town Hall 11, for example, easily. So one thing which you obviously have to do, you have to swap out a couple of small things to make sure that everything is fitting in your army camps. For example, you can swap out a couple of Loons. You could swap out the Ice Golem if you want to, and all those things. This is, like I said, personal preference, and it's up to you guys to decide what exactly you want to swap out. There's not like the best thing to swap out or whatever. So everything we will talk about in today's video, how to use certain things, and then you guys can pick on your own whether you want to copy that army straight or not. One more thing is, if you guys would like to support me or my channel, there's an easy way to do that. Just go in your settings, in more settings, and at the bottom you can find the creator code. Type in Itsu if you want to support me and my channel. For example, when buying those offers, make sure you have a creator code in there. And one more thing, all those creator codes work for every single Supercell game. For example, for Brawl Stars, for Clash Royale, whatever. If you want to support me, thank you guys so much. I appreciate that. But now let's get started with the first base. And this was actually the first attack of the day, which I was kind of surprised about, because this base, I faced this base a couple of seasons ago, multiple times in the really high cup area, kinda. So this base is a pretty common base, I think, by now. At least, like I said, I saw this base a couple of seasons ago many times by high cup players, so it should be kind of good. So I was kind of surprised finding such a base in the lower ranks right now, where I'm at the moment. So what exactly is the goal with the Queen Charge? With the Queen Charge, I'm always back in the Queen Charge with the Electron. So what is kind of the goal? What are you going for? So there are a couple of things. First off, you could go for the enemy heroes, what I'm trying to do right now. I'm trying to go for the enemy queen and the enemy royal champion, because as soon as that's out of the way, you have like way more possibilities with your own Electron, for example. I'm taking out the eagle as well. All of those things, for example, scattershot, eagle, things like that, which are strong against Lalo, those are things which are nice to have, but those are not the main objectives in my opinion. You should always go for the bigger picture, which is, for example, like I said, the heroes. The next important thing is going to be the town hall, which we will see later on. But on this one, this is a classic ring base, and how you can easily triple those, well, there's just an easy way to do so. Just interrupt one part of the ring, if it's possible, where the heroes are, like I did at the top side, and then you're cutting in with the Electron, making sure that your troops are actually going for the town hall. I'm freezing over here. I think the freeze was pretty wasted, to be honest. But now, as soon as the town hall is activated, troops will actually go inside. We can use the warden ability nice and early, and those loons should stay alive. So as you guys can see, everything is getting smashed. The loons are just following the pathing, and the Electron basically made sure that everything is going through the core. That is kind of the idea behind that. But there are a couple of different approaches to ring bases. There's going to be one more ring base in a second, and I will show you guys how to triple that as well. And like I said, just like Electron is super versatile, like you can use it basically on any base, and especially in the current meta, it's crazy strong, because first off, a lot of ground expos, and second of all, those heroes in those legend bases are not protected that well. For example, like on this one, the heroes are kind of from the outside. So yeah, this is how we tripled the first base. Like I said, kind of surprised that we actually found such a good base already as the first attack, but that's the good stuff to the video in my opinion. So let's get to the next attack. Let's get to the next base, and I will show you guys a bit more on like more in-depth stuff, like how many loons should you deploy and everything. Because to be honest, not everything which I'm doing is like perfect right now, and we should just learn together, right? Like we should learn together, because in theory I know most of the stuff, but executing all of this is a way different picture, and this is like making the big difference if you're good or like really good. So this is another ring base, and actually I spent tons of times in the beginning just searching for the royal champion. Like the enemy queen and the king at the top side, they are kind of easy to spot. But like where the freaky cat is the enemy royal champion. And this is kind of strange. Like this guy has no royal champ. I guess he's like doing a 12.5 thing. I don't know why, but he's apparently doing that. So let's imagine this is a town of 13 and it should go exactly the same way. So what are you going first? First off, I'm getting rid of the enemy queen, and now we have to take care or like take in consideration with the enemy clan castles, because you do not want to lure that. Like that's super important. The next thing, so what we're doing is sending in the king and the royal champion from the 6 o'clock side. Why do we do that? Because the town hall's at the top side, and we do not want to lure that. If there are witches in there, if there are archers in there, we do not care. We have the poison, so good placed poison should deal the should make the enemy clan castle disappear. So that's something. And well, then we just get in from the bottom, and once again we want to interrupt the enemy ring. That's kind of the goal right now, and this is what we're doing. On this one, it's that we have more value in the core compared to the last base. Like on the last base, we just had the tunnel in the core. This time we have like Inferno Tower, we have the enemy eagle, we have a lot of things at the core, which means this time we won't use our Electron to cut the ring. This time we use the Electron to clear the core and make sure that the loons are flying on the outside. That's the idea behind this approach right now. So the blimp is getting into the core, but didn't reach the town hall, which is kind of bad for us, because now not too many things are going for the town hall, which should be activated by now. But well, now everything is getting into the core. We are freezing the town hall, making sure that the warden somehow is following, even though you do not have any impact on that. We were a little bit late on the warden ability, because once again, like the warden is not always following. And now one more thing, which is kind of important: how many loons to deploy in which defense. And normally on those Sui Lalo like Electron attacks, you have tons of loons, which means you can normally do like at least 3 loons on every single defense. And one thing which I'm doing kind of often wrong as well, and you guys saw it on this attack once again: save a couple of loons for the backhand. If you're using something like 27 loons, you should at least save 4 loons for the backhand, because then you're way more flexible with like taking out certain defenses in the end if something is messing up the pathing, or like if they're outside Tesla, outside mortars, whatever. This is something which I have to work on, because I'm like always, oh, I have 27 loons, I should use those 27 loons in the beginning, which is completely wrong. So try to work on that if you're the same way as I am. But yeah, that's something which is super important. Make sure that you're saving a couple of loons for the back end of the base, and well, the Electron is doing the rest. Like the Elektrodragon is just insane in this army comp. It has so much value, which is actually crazy. So as soon as you're getting it deeper into the base, and the base is a little bit compact, the amount of value this Elektrodragon can get is insane. So that's kind of the true MVP of this army. But let's take a look at the next base. So the next base is obviously not maxed. Like that's, everyone can see that, but I want to talk about the approach on this base, like the idea behind that. Because like I said, normally always go for the enemy heroes, because that's kind of important. But on this one, you have the clan castle covering the enemy heroes. So this is something where you should never go for the enemy heroes, because it's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky to go through the enemy clan castle with that. But normally you can only cover a certain amount of things, which means, or like with the clan castle, which means the town hall this time is kind of for free. You have only 5 wall breakers, that's kind of the downside basically, but you can always adapt. You have the rage spell, which means you will only need 1 wall break for each wall. So this is something which I'm doing on this base. Since the clan castle is that far at the bottom, I'm just trying to get everything into the town hall part, and now we're using the wall breakers. Obviously I should have just used test wall breakers and everything, but I thought like, okay, this guy is so rushed, so he won't have max small bombs. So I wasn't really caring too much. And well, now we're going for the town hall, trying to take that out, because like I said, the clan castle is at the bottom side. Now the only thing is like think about where to place the Royal Champion. I was thinking about placing it on the right side to get the Wizard Tower and the Scatter Shot out of the way. But the bad thing about this is that we might be in range of the Clan Castle. So the only thing which I was thinking about, like, okay, let's try to get maybe the other Scatter Shot and stuff like that. I don't think it was the best decision, to be honest, but I mean, we will go with it. I can use the Royal Champion ability kind of early on. I was thinking like, okay, maybe the Royal Champion will be forced to the enemy Scatter Shot, and then I could freeze the Single Inferno Tower. Since my Royal Champion did not go immediately to the Scatter Shot, I was just like, okay, I will just save the freeze. Next thing for me is trying to get as many hounds in as possible, as early as possible, because the thing right now is that there's actually a lot of damage with the enemy heroes around there. So now dropping the poison, opening the Electron, Blim, whatever, making sure that my Elektrodragon is taking care of everything. Since the Town Hall is gone, you can use the Warden ability whenever you want, which is always a good thing. And now, once again, I forgot to save a couple of Loons. That's how you do it. Not. So, even though this is a complete overkill, I mean, obviously it's an overkill because this base is not even close to max, but I hope I was able to show you guys a bit more and better on how to approach bases like this when you're facing a Clan Castle which is not really touching the Town Hall and instead covering the enemy Queen and Royal Champion. So you can easily go for the Town Hall, just get rid of that, which is a super important building. Do not do that with the Eagle. The Eagle is not as important as the Town Hall, for example, so it's normally not worth it, except you're getting like really crazy good pathing due to that, but that's normally not the best thing to do. Either way, I hope I was able to show you guys a little better on how to execute those Electron attacks, and good luck in the Clan War using that, or in the Legend League. Both are good places to use that army. It doesn't really matter whether it's Town Hall 13, Town Hall 12, or Town Hall 11, for example. Even on Town Hall 10 it's working. So yeah, get ready, get your Loons, and get some bases smashed, because this army is pretty strong and it's a lot of fun to use. And it feels you have way more impact on things because you have to do so much more than actually just spamming Yetis in. So it's a bit tougher, but still it's a lot of fun. Try it out, make sure that you test that, and well, see you guys in the next video. I hope you guys learned a lot, and I will see you guys back tomorrow. Until then, see ya and bye bye.